Hey guys, welcome back to Mod Pop Thrift. My name's Tom. I'm a full-time eBay reseller and a stay-at-home dad for my 6 kids. We just got home from a yard sale and we're going to look at that footage in just a minute. You're not going to believe some of the sales today. Holy cow. Let's take a look at some yard sales and then we'll jump into that. Hey look, it's March. It's Friday morning and I saw a yard sale sign. So we're going to stop and see if we can't find anything. I don't have much cash. It's going to have to be the kind of time of year where we start carrying cash. Ray Dunn doesn't always do crazy well, but these are cool patterns. Buy a welder's mask with the oh goodness, Jordan baseball. This is like junk wax era. But
I need new clothes. The kids, they don't leave anything on. Like all the marbles.
Kubota, definitely need that. Ooh, are those gonna be? Desiree size. This size 8. These look old. They're not old. They're back in style. They're newer-ish. So I ended up at $13 for this Ray Dunn set, which is Ray Dunn is not great, but these are really nice. And this says set $5. I didn't notice that till I was coming back to the car. He's like, "How's 25 cents a piece?" When I didn't notice that they were priced and asked for a price. Because I don't know why people price things on the bottom. It should be on the top so that you know. I can literally sell similar off my own listing. It was $1, or it was 50 cents. So we were $1 into all of that. These shirts were $1 a piece. So that puts me at $3. Large Kiss, not a great shirt, but for $1. And then Back in Black AC/DC XL. Again, these are $10 plus shipping, but they were $1 a piece. And then these Carhartts black coveralls, they're a little beat up, but I don't think it matters a lot. R03 black, $42.30. Boy, I might try those on before I sell them. But they are dirty double knees. Those are expensive if I decide to sell them. And this first sale, I already packaged the dumb thing, and I thought I had footage of it before I packaged it, but I don't. So it's a Mr. T. It says Ruby Spears on it, which is the cartoon production company. I paid $40 for it about 6 or 8 months ago, and it sold today for $75 free shipping. Not a huge return, but the kind of thing that I don't mind spending up a little bit on because it's so unique, it's so cool. I get to say that I owned it, and I get to make some money on it. You'll recall last week that I sold a bunch of RC car parts to a guy, and he bought 2 boxes and they were $120 a box at 2 different occasions. The second time he Venmo'd me. The first time he paid me $120 in all ones. Well, we're using the ones to pay the kids' allowance, which is fantastic. But I went through them first and I found this one, which has a serial number of that is all like 6 3s, which is unusual. And this one is a star note and is an extremely low number, having all 4 4s and only 2 digits. And then they're reversible. They're like a reflection. Put these on auction for $25, free shipping. They ended yesterday. Buyer paid $41. Would you trade me these $2 bills for two $20 bills? Somebody did. Vintage Notre Dame crew neck. Yard sale season's back on us. I picked this up last yard sale season for 50 cents. It sold for $11.70 plus shipping, which isn't a great sale, but it's pretty cool for 50 cents. Vintage tag Dale Jr. shirt. I think I said it was single stitch. It's not. I've had this forever and I don't know where it came from. And I took a $6.75 offer on it because somebody wanted to give me money, and I better sold than not. So if you've been with the channel a while, you've heard me say a million times there was a garage sale where I got a bunch of hats for $1 and a vase full of McDonald's vintage pins, like flair, if you will. And I paid like $10 for all the pins, and I've been selling them for a year, maybe more than a year, and somebody just came in and bought a bunch, spent $43 total. So they spent $43 total on these for Stop at McDonald's, McDonald's #1 team and racing. And they didn't ask for me to change the shipping or anything. They just paid like $4 a piece plus shipping, essentially $10 a piece for these things. So I know I have multiple quantities of this one that has Ronald on it, and this one that says McDonald's Think Like a Customer TLC. And so I had, so I'm gonna throw those in just to be a nice guy and to take care of my customer. I could refund part of their shipping, but they didn't ask me to. They agreed to pay that price, and I know some people do. I tend to not. But I'm throwing in a couple extra pins because obviously this person collects McDonald's pins. I think that's a good gesture, and they paid the price that they saw and didn't ask me to adjust it. So I know Lonnie, as a rule, does it whether they ask or not. I don't do it unless they ask, as a rule. But and I think however you decide to do it is totally valid. You can defend any position along that line, but I'm gonna, when somebody spend that much money on something that's so easy to deal with and I have extra stuff, I don't mind trying to do something nice, but giving them a bunch of money back is not going to be on the list of nice things that I do, because that's the reason that I'm here. These were part of the whole store buyout. They're non-shock bark control collars, and when I saw them I was like, oh man, those are going to be money. Turns out they are Amazon cheap generic equivalents of ones that are worth money. I put them up for $15 together, free shipping. And they did sell. This Princess wall phone, trim phone, is new in package. I wouldn't pick this up unless it was new in package. Had it not been new in package, I wouldn't even have listed it. But I decided to list it because it is neat. It only sold for $9 plus shipping, but it did sell and made me a little bit of money, and like all of that stuff, I'm well into the profits on it now. This WWF shirt, large, not vintage, was a very early pickup for me on Whatnot. I don't know much about wrestling at all, and I shouldn't have bought it. Power of positivity. I probably gave $4 for it, knowing where I got it, and it sold for $5 3 years later. And then a couple of things inside that sold so fast made my head spin, and we made quite a bit of money. The Naked Brothers band was a Nickelodeon thing in like 2007. I remember it existing, but being born in '82, I certainly wasn't watching boy band stuff on kids television in 2007. But I was like, somebody was, and it's old enough that they're going to be nostalgic about it. And so this thing I got on Whatnot for $1, and it sold for $9 free shipping. The other thing I paid $16 for on eBay and sold for only $400 free shipping, and was listed for like 12 hours. This is, and I didn't know it when I bought it. I had an idea that it was good, and I bought it for $16. I'm like, I'm not going to get hurt for $16. It is a Zippo, and it has a call number on it. I don't know if you can see it, 203-2695. And it has a flat bottom. If you're familiar with Zippos, a lot of times this will be like indented. There'll be a ridge around here. This has 4-barrel hinge, and it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 holes on this side and a match side over here, which makes it a 14 hole insert. This is an insert into this sleeve. This is the GI World War II issue. So if you signed up to fight in World War II and the military gave you a bunch of things, this was amongst them, I think. And at any rate, it's the right age to have been part of somebody's World War II experience, whether or not this particular one was. And it doesn't have any engraving on it other than that. I listed it for $450 and it sold overnight. I got a guy in China wanted to give me $370 for it within about an hour of being listed. The middle of the night, I woke up. There was like a 3 a.m. Offer for $400, and I let that cook until about 9 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, well, hopefully the guy pays and we'll be in business. So I took the $400 offer, and he paid within an hour, which was great. And this is going to the town that American Pickers live in, and is going to be part of somebody's World War II collection. The guy, his name has something to do with being a collector of war stuff. So, Zippo lighters with a flat bottom. The 3-barrel hinge is actually worth twice as much as this. The model number or the patent number makes a lot of difference on these things. And then these re-inserts, I mean, you can imagine this thing stops working. Somebody buys another insert and puts it in there in the 80s because these things aren't collectible yet. So you got to watch out and make sure you have the right insert. There's a 8-hole, a 16-hole. This 14-hole is the right one for this. I did a lot of research, listed it for $450, and it sold in hours, for less than 12 hours, for $400. That's going to make my day. Fantastic stuff. But the reality is it isn't even going to make my day, because we're going to go pick up a huge load of video games that I bought yesterday. So I'm going to get this stuff shipped, and then I'll see you guys when we're doing that in a minute. We bought some stuff. I'm back home now from botting the stuff. Pretty excited about this stuff. We spent $450. So my buddy Alex bought this box of hats for $10, and we don't discuss what he paid for stuff before, but I'm like, you bought this box for $10. And he's like, how did you know the exact number? And it was just a guess. But so I agreed to buy, he gave me the number on these Chicago sweatshirts at 40. And I was like, okay, well, that's a pretty good price. Let's revisit that in a minute. So there's this Chicago large nutmeg, this Chicago large Lee Sports, and this one is a banger. Pinstriped Chicago Bears on the Game, made in the US, large. Those are bangers. And then there's all this Sega stuff, and we'll go through that in a minute. But he gave me $40 on those, and then I asked him how much hats were, and he's like, oh, most of them would be like $5, but I know there's some really good ones in there I'd like to get 10 for. And I'm like, okay. So then I went through every hat, and I picked out these, and this ended up being 10 hats, and I was like, how about we do 70 for these 10, because that's somewhere between 5 and 10 a piece, and they're all pretty good. So I essentially have $7 a piece in these. That's Oshkosh, Bass Pro, made in the US, vintage, cool, Bass Pro, Bigfoot, snapback, made in the US, Straight King lures, Bush, sick, camo, Jolly Green Giant, on the K, Slice. That one's not on K. I was hoping that one was on K. Friggin' Little Caesars. Are you kidding me with that Little Caesars hat? Golden Harvest, which is a good one, and I think it's on K. It's on the K. And then this Ag Land FS on the all over K. So those are really good hats. And then we were talking about the really good hats, and he's like, well, you want the rest of them? I'll just make you a really good deal on them. And I was like, no, I don't want the rest of them. I don't want to deal with the rest of them. A lot of them are junk. What's a really good deal? 50 bucks. So then I'm at 100 over. I said, so I've got, why don't we do 70 and 30? And these will be 10 bucks a piece. And these will be $7 a piece. And I'll be 100 bucks. And he's like, okay. And then we turned to this and he's like, I'd sell you the rest for 50 bucks. And there's some good ones in here. Kerr McGee, Clydesdales, Florida that isn't great, but it's cool. Vintage Naval Academy. A lot of these are not much, but these will probably end up on Whatnot. I got all of these that are like super dad hat. And all of these will probably end up on Whatnot in the next couple of days. And so I said, would you buy the whole box for 10 bucks? And he admitted that he bought the entire box. And I don't mind the kid making $140 off of me. I'll make $140 off of him too, especially on the other box. So the yellow boxes are 32X games, which are not, you can't even play them on this. Sega did a lot of adapting, like you stick the Sega CD under your game, but then there's also the thing where you can stick this in here and adapt from 16-bit to 32-bit, and these games are all for the 32-bit. That's Doom, Metalhead, Star Squadron, Star Wars, and this game, which is probably the heaviest hitter in the whole box, and it's complete and in a nice box. So I'm pretty excited about that. That's at least a $250 game. And I paid $300 for the whole box, and that's a $250 game. And I don't feel like I've seen all of these games. I did get some pictures, but I feel like there's more games here than I got pictures of. So here's the game pile, and then you'll notice my pickup from this morning didn't even make it to get listed. This Sequest isn't worth much, maybe like 10 bucks. CyberCop is a $30 game. I know that's not worth much. I haven't comped that. This one I don't know. Let's put a comp up. We'll see. Sonic 2 is a good game. I've got a copy of it. It's not worth much. This is about a $30 game. Chakan. That's not going to be worth very much. I'm not real familiar with it, but those games just tend to not be worth much. I'll put up comps and tell me if I'm wrong. That isn't worth much, but it's neat to have. How about Vikings? Battleship isn't worth too awful much. Battletech might be pretty good. Mortal Kombat 1 and 2, probably not for sale. Terminator, maybe not for sale. Soldier of Fortune, probably not worth a fortune. Centurion, Defenders of Rome. I know Jungle Strike isn't worth too awful much. This is about a $30 game. This is probably 15 or 20. This one is the next grail. It doesn't have the manual. It's MA13, which was a big deal back then. And that is probably about $125 with no manual. This one I didn't check and I don't know, so I'll put up a comp for you guys. And then Steel Empire is probably a $30 game. We'll put comps up on all of them. Sorry this is so dark, but then you got the manual for the Jenny and the, let's look at these. I haven't even seen all of this stuff. Magazines, the game guide for Mortal Kombat 2 and for an official Sega Genesis tips. That one looks like a Master System. Here's a Game Gear manual. I don't know what those stickers are for, but they look interesting. This is a Game Gear thing too, or a Game Genie. Game Genie for the Sega Genesis, and this is Game Genie code updates for the Sega Genesis. I don't know what this is. Cheat codes for the Star Wars game. This says 2015 and Viper. I don't know what it is. There's the Doom game guide, and then you have the Genesis itself. This tips for playing something. Cheat codes for the Die Hard trilogy, Mortal Kombat. So that's like PS1 era. And then this GameCube Star Wars. It's complete. It's in there. I don't know what it's worth. And then there's power cable for that. Power cable for some kind of charger for an RC car. A bunch of controllers. A good number, like 4, 5, 6 controllers. Is this for the Game Gear that I'm not familiar with, but it looks like it's probably a better game. Somebody's playing with a tambourine in the background. More cables. That one looks like it's been seen better days. Probably not much in these cables. Here's a 6-pack. I'm just going to throw this in with the Genesis, no doubt, when I sell it. And Sonic 1, and I don't have the case for that, so that'll probably throw in to. And let me make sure, Mortal Kombat 2, that might be a second copy. So only 3 garbage games don't have the manuals. This one's junk. This
Mind if I just saying they are garbage? Can we just?
Sonic 2
that's
doesn't
not
have
for
the it doesn't matter. And then this one doesn't have the manual, which sucks because it would be $150, $175 game if it did. But between this one and Sonic and Knuckles, I'm going to be in the profit, or not Sonic and Knuckles, Knuckles Chaotix. I'm going to be in the profit on those 2 games, and there's plenty more here. All right, so I think this is where we're going to wrap the video for today. Right now, my wife just got home from the end of her day of school, and all the kids are home, and it is officially spring break. So hopefully I'm able to get a lot of things done with her being home all week. We'll get some, household projects done. We'll probably do some stuff as a family instead of just work the whole time. But yeah, I'm excited about what the next week or so has in store for us. And with all of that stuff, I imagine we're going to get some pretty darn good sales. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking, commenting, and subscribing. Thanks for checking those links below and seeing if you can sign up for whatnot and you get a little bit of money and I get a little bit of money. My eBay stores in the links, and my new vlog channel that has 26 subscribers and not a video yet. Coming to the first part of April. Exciting efforts, exciting videos. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next one.